Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Grizzly Beerds podcast. My name is Nick, and joining me are my two co-hosts, Nick
Hey, how are you?
and Ben.
What's up?
And this week, we're going to be discussing the differences between a regular asshole and a bleached asshole. And then we'll also be talking about Mountain Dew as a mixer. And we'll get more into that later. And then we're also going to talk about what's pissing Nick off this week. So that'll be a lot of fun. He'll get pretty rowdy. I hope you'll enjoy a beer with us. Nick, would you have a beer?
Hey, Ben, do you have a beer?
Hey, Nick, would you like a beer?
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna let Nick take the starting point on the regular versus bleached asshole. I think he really wants to take
So,
that.
for those of you innocent folks out there, typically, I don't know if you've ever looked at your own asshole and just decided to see like what kind of color it was, the diameter, if it,
Doesn't.
if it reduced, if it changes the aperture or not. But typically people don't really think about that very often. It's usually like a little pink, right? It's a little pink. It's not the same color as the skin surrounding it. It doesn't look, it's not the same color as your butt skin. It's a little pink, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some people out there that, they'll do like the little thing where they go in the mirror, turn around, and they spread them, right? And they think like to themselves, I wish my asshole was the color of my skin, or if it was white, basically white. There's a process for that known as bleaching your asshole, right? And it's kind of curious. Like you go onto that kind of transformation. It's like you really got to think. Fellas got to wonder, where are you in life to decide that you don't like the color of your asshole? Like, and then that really makes a fella even wonder further. It's like there's people out there, again, for you innocent folks, that that might not know this, but like people like to some people out there like to put the tongue where the poo-poo comes out, right? And I'm curious, like, does a bleached asshole taste different? Like, is the chemical composition of the asshole different than that of a regular, like, natural asshole? I don't like to put my tongue where the poo-poo comes out. Once the food goes in, I don't like to deal with the food anymore unless I'm like getting rid of it. I don't want to deal with someone else's trash, So like, just kind of curious, like, do you guys think that a bleached asshole would taste different than like a natural pooper?
Well, so
Go, Ben.
what does bleaching your asshole do to your asshole though? I mean, it makes it lighter color. Like, so what is it? Removing the pigment? Is there another chemical process that happens? I'm trying to think. Does the flavor profile change of your asshole? But like, what do you think about that? Like, I mean, you're making it brighter. I don't know anything about the science behind why it looks different. Besides bleach, it ruins everything.
So I'm the type
My
to do
experience.
I'm looking up right now. You guys can talk, whatever. I'm looking up right now. I typed in Google on the private browser because I don't want this on my records. FBI.
Right.
Hey,
Well,
FBI agent is already watching you, so there's no hiding that.
That's
He already hit record the screen.
So I just typed in how does anus bleaching work. I'm gonna do some research. You guys can chit chat about this if you like and get some opinions going.
Yeah. Well, so here's where I stand. Is like maybe physically, like, your asshole skin isn't like changing flavor, but perhaps when you bleach it, you're cleaning the surrounding area, killing the bacteria, and thus removing some of that kind of grunge, the Fremunda cheese kind of taste that you might be otherwise experiencing. I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards you because this is my thought process behind it. Is okay, yeah. You bleach the asshole, and yeah, like you said, you get rid of all the bacteria, you get rid of everything. So I feel like you won't taste anything, which is a good thing.
Do we want to taste stuff?
I don't. I mean, if somebody swings that way, maybe they want to, and maybe they'd be upset by that. But I feel like as soon as you do it, as soon as you bleach the asshole, all remnants of it go away. As soon as you take a fart or a shit, like even like just a fart, as soon as you fart, like it's just bacteria coming back, or just whatever. It's all the residue is just coming back already.
Yeah.
So I feel like it depends on what the person wants to taste. If the person wants to taste
That's true.
the poop, then they would hate the bleaching of the asshole. But if they want to taste a clean asshole, hey, they go for it.
So I've done some research here. There's
Okay.
some.
You did the research?
Yep, they've done. So for anus bleaching, there are a few different methods of doing it. There's some topical treatments. I assume like some different types of creams and all that basically target the was the melanin is the pigment that it
Melanin. Yep.
yeah, that's
I
it.
think so.
It basically like breaks down the melanin, and that's it. So you're unlikely to get a taste change from that. However, there is a laser treatment. You can get your ass lasered, which means that
Freaking lasers.
you could get like basically singed ass hairs around the anus, so it would taste crispy and burnt. I guarantee it.
Okay.
Like you left your roast beef on the grill for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
100%. It would probably only taste like that way, like probably within 48 hours. Anything after that's probably just gonna taste like a regular asshole. But like while those hairs are nice and freshly singed, I'm just saying, if you ever want to like throw an ass on the barbecue and kind of give it a tongue puncheroo, now's your chance. Like,
right.
if you can find somebody within 48 hours of an ass lasering, then I mean, there you go.
So to me, it sounds like we're kind of following the same like FDA guidelines, as in like, you put your food in after a couple hours before it goes bad. Like, B, you get your asshole laser bleached or whatever, and then you got to eat it soon before it goes bad. Is that kind of the way you're getting at?
100%. Like, typically, your food goes bad. It'll make you sick after, 48, after a long amount of time of being out cold, basically. So,
right.
Hey, I mean, if you're not really the type to, want raw asshole, cooked asshole, like 48 hours right after a bleaching, might work. I mean, it might not make you sick because it'll like taste different. It'll taste
good.
It'll taste cooked.
No, what if she's shitting in your mouth, like at the same time? I feel like that kind of voids a warranty you got with your laser ablation.
You just know everything.
We're not eating poo-poo. That is not where we're going today.
I mean, some stuff just happens, like when you're loosey-goosey down there, like, couple tugs and you have a chug.
I hate this.
Okay, well, so this is what I've been thinking about the whole time is, okay, so there's a lasering of your asshole.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so this is what I'm like, because now I'm curious like how this works. Does someone like pry your butt cheeks open and hold them while the laser is shooting in there, or do they have like a machine, like a clamp that like they put between your cheeks and then like crank to open up the cheeks? Like, I'm super curious now. Like,
okay.
what way do they roll?
I think it's all right. I know it's more probably like. Now it's probably somebody that just like stands there and like spreads your cheeks, because I feel like a lot can go wrong when you put like basically like a car jack in between their ass. Like a lot can go wrong with that. Funny story. Did I ever tell y'all about the time when I hyperextended my butthole?
I think you've mentioned it, but I'm lacking all the current details I need to experience the story.
You might as well just refresh us.
Yeah, back in high school, me and the boys were chilling chilling around in the gym after school, and like for gymnastics,
have your popcorn.
I think it's pommel horse they call it. It's like basically an elevated beam to walk across for different gymnastics things. Well, we were just sitting on that, and then I decided to dismount after we were sitting on it, but like one of my butt cheeks on like the inside got caught on the pommel horse, while the rest of my body fell down off of it. So it's just like, boom, like spread me wide open. It was like the weirdest pain I've ever felt. It was like, I can't describe it any other way than hyperextending my asshole.
My God.
I feel like you would need the atomic butt for that
Some
situation.
serious trauma right there. I had to like basically sleep on my side for a long time just to try to like hope that gravity would fix the problem.
Good old gravity. Good old.
Did it make like holding your shit in so you had to go like harder?
Not really. It just everything was painful for a hot minute or two.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, unpleasant. Wouldn't I recommend? But,
Sounds like anal fissures in a way.
it's just something that I don't want to acknowledge that I have. So I'm just gonna stop thinking about it.
What's it called when your intestines come out your anus?
That's
That stuff's. I seen it. It was a TV show, 1,000 Ways to Die, and one guy died because his asshole was too close to the suction thing in there, and it sucked out his. And I nearly like I shit the bricks on that one. I was like
shit the bricks.
Wow.
Last thing I want to do is shit after that.
Yeah. I was like no.
I hate that. I hate this. I hate everything.
Interesting. It's such an interesting area of the body, you know. It's like the, it's like, the rubber band on a lobster claw.
Yeah.
It's like if you threw that inside of a balloon. That's like how I picture the anus.
What the?
Just like a tight rubber band keeping all the baddies in.
I just hate I hate this whole thing.
Well, do we want to move on to our next topic then?
I kind of do. This is I just don't feel right after this.
Yeah, I know. You feel like you can't sit down now properly.
Yeah, you need to go wash yourself, don't you?
I need to. Yeah. I ain't using bleach. I promise you that.
No, you need holy water now.
Next time somebody points a leak,
That's the only thing that's gonna fix that.
I'm out of there.
All right. Well.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead, Ben. You got something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, if you needed some, if there is a follow-up to be had from this conversation, I suggest looking at pit bulls barking out their ass on YouTube. But other than that, we should close out this topic.
Yes. I think we should move on to our next one. Is
well on that.
Mountain Dew is a mixer, and I'm gonna let our good old buddy Nick lead us into it.
I read a decent amount on this issue. I got the notes. I read the history, and it's saying that way back in the day, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this before, but Mountain Dew was like originally meant to be a mixer, like as a mixer for whiskey, right? It's kind of like commonly referenced. If you look at the old marketing on Mountain Dew, it's kind of like, basically meant for moonshine and all that. Well, back in the day, Mountain Dew supposedly, according to my sources that I can't name right now because I forgot, say that Mountain Dew at one point, again, this is before
Wikipedia.
So any old time correct me, but apparently it originally tasted more like a lemon lime, like Sprite or 7-Up or what have you. So, but then again, like you look into like say a lot of country songs these days, there's one song, I Can Fix a Drink, when he says, if you got some cheap whiskey and some Mountain Dew, he's basically saying like, we're still, it's confirmation that even in pop culture, like we are still, a lot of people out there still are mixing whiskey with Mountain Dew. But you think about it, back in the day, it was meant to be a mixer as kind of like a lemon lime Sprite beverage. Now it tastes absolutely nothing like it, and it's basically meant for like all those MLG gamers out there. And I just feel like we're doing something wrong here. Like if you're mixing Mountain Dew and whiskey, like that shouldn't be acceptable anymore. We should be doing whiskey and Sprite. Not something that I've ever mixed before, but I feel like I should, just because that's kind of like what the old school folks would have wanted. So like what do we think about that? Because I feel like there's a lot of misconception here, and now we just have a really crappy drink now that people just accept because it's historically true.
Um, I've always found that like Mountain Dew is as a mixer is better with like a vodka or a rum. And when I talk about rum, I mean like a light like a white rum. Um, that's the only ones I've found that they work with real well. Just because they're like Mountain Dew's like a naturally fruity drink. They've just made them like all types of fruity. So I feel like they only work with that because they don't have like they have a taste, but they don't have like a strong taste to it. So it makes it easier as a mixer with vodka. Um, but with whiskey, I just can't wrap my head around that. I feel like I need a cola to work with a whiskey. That's the only way I found works for me.
Yeah, I just feel like whiskey matches Mountain. Like it does not match Mountain Dew at all. I mean, whiskey honestly just doesn't. Cola is probably like the only thing I would say would mix with the whiskey at all. See, like Sprite's like kind of like it's a more neutral. I won't say neutral taste than how belligerent Mountain Dew is on the tongue, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it would accept the flavors of whiskey more, I guess you could say. But yeah, I definitely think that we're doing something wrong here with, modern Mountain Dew and whiskey.
Do you think people would start drinking stuff like whiskey and Sprite or whiskey and Sierra Mist or something like that if they knew? Or do you think it's kind of like a iconic drink now that people are just kind of like sold on the whole Mountain Dew thing?
I feel like even if we like took like a Sprite or anything that was like a lemon lime flavor, even to me that doesn't sound amazing. Like it's still two completely
Yeah.
opposites that doesn't sound uh, like appetizing at all.
I don't know. I'll get back to you on that on the next episode, guys. I'll pick up some Sprite. I got some Crown. I'll see what I can do and give you a proper review next time. We can even make
Make
that.
sure. Yeah, there you go.
We'll review different random drink ideas.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, I'll get back to you on that. And yeah, I definitely think that it's very iconic. Like whiskey and Mountain Dew is kind of iconic at this point, regardless of how wrong it is now. Um, but I feel like there's no going back from it. There's people out there that like it, but I think Sprite and whiskey could be normalized. Should it actually be good? I mean, this is again.
Who knows? I've never even tried it.
Yeah, so I'll get back to you on that. I'll try some Sprite and whiskey. Again, it's not something I really like to do that much, but it's just a little story that I thought heard and kind of bothered me a little bit.
Speaking of bothering, Nick, what's pissing you off this week?
Oh, I got a list of things pissing me off.
You got a list?
One big thing with a lot of bullet points. This segment's gonna be why is Nick pissed today? And first thing right off the bat, something that hits very close to home for 2/3 of this cast here. Why is Nick always seen as the douchebag name? Right? You look at all these different lists of most douchebag names. If you go on Google and typed in top male douchebag names, first result that came up, at least for me, was from the site Radio Now Indie. Number one douchebag name, Nick. And the other two are for more personal reasons. Number two is Mark. My brother and my father are both named Mark, so I find that hilarious. They spawned the number one, that they're related to the number one douchebag. And then number three is Jeff, which I find hilarious because I got a buddy Jeff. And
Major asshole.
Anyway, and you go on Urban Dictionary, right? Everybody's favorite reliable source to get shit on other people. So if you type in the name Nick, Nick, on Urban Dictionary, the number one result is Nick, some asshole that will steal your bagel. I will say there's no truth to that, but I 100% will steal a bagel if the opportunity arises.
Yeah, I've been known to steal the occasional food once in a while. Not so much bagels, but I do have to fess up to the stealing of other foods.
You're with you, Bob. I mean, I kind of want to rock that because I feel like just a belligerent duck, and I kind of feel like that's the kind of animal that I would want to be. the belligerent duck. And then, for further evidence as to why I feel like it's bullshit that Nick is a seen as a douchebag name is, I'll admit I'm TikTok trash. I don't know if you folks know the app TikTok, but all the Gen Z folk out there are really all about it. It's very cringe when you get into it, but I mean, it drags you down. It drags you down, and you cannot never recover. But either way, there's always these trends with these girls will give you like a list of basically the most attractive or like guys with the best game and all that. And the letter N for like first letter of the names or Nick never pops up on anything positive. It's we either have like 0 out of 10 or like negative or just never mentioned. So we never have the huge peepee, and that's really upsetting. We've been treated unfairly, and it's time for a revolution. That's my thoughts.
Well, let's take a standpoint from a non-Nick. What do you think, Ben?
So when I think of like asshole names, like I never thought of the name Nick. Like that was a shock, and I'm curious if Nicholas it has the same definition in Urban Dictionary. I have no idea.
I'm gonna look that up while you're talking.
But that's something to check out. But when I think of like an asshole name, I think of like Brad or like Chad or like some other douchey frat boy name. But yeah, I have like several friends named Nick, and it's just not fitting.
We appreciate you, but I kind of but you ever like forget that you looked up something horrifically obscene, and then like you go back on your internet browser, and it's right there staring you in the face. It hits you like a truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like your mom's asshole.
I'm going to go look at on Urban Dictionary, and I'm just hit with, how does anal bleaching work?
Yeah, because we didn't look that up earlier.
All right, Urban Dictionary. Nicholas.
I looked it up. You want to? I can read it.
Oh, hit me, bud.
It's long. So a Nicholas will make the best boyfriend guy friend ever. With their big brown eyes and heart-melting smile, it's hard not to fall for them. They are different in a beautiful way, possesses a very funny, odd sense of humor. They are there when you need them, and they value their friendships. They like to look good and dress well, handsome and charming. They've had a hard life, but never get kicked down and stays down. They change for the better and stronger than ever. Very successful at life, make great dads, known to be players, but they meet that special girl they're sold. Nicholas's come off as tough and solid, but deep down their soft side comes out, and you see the sweet gentleman in them. They're not popular, but not a loner either. Friends love them, and guys want to be him. They have a really laid back attitude about themselves, but at the same time, they can be the life of the party. Even though they can be a jerk at times, they mean well and are really the nicest guys ever. If you have a Nicholas, don't let him go. None other compares.
The next entry is by the same person. They're like, Nicholases are assholes. They break your heart. They'll betray you.
Yeah.
They'll always give up on you no matter what, no matter how much you trust them. 0 out of 10, small pee-pee.
I also found that the meaning of Nicholas from the Greek name is victory of the people.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretentious douchebag meaning for a name, if you ask me. So I mean, I see where they're getting at here.
The people.
A little bit, yeah. We got two different standards with like a Nick and a Nicholas, though. I don't know.
Well, it's like the classic thing where it's like someone has a long first name and it's like seems very like honorable, and then they cut it down to their nickname, and all of a sudden they seem like an asshole.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's like it just happens so often.
That's the trend with this.
Like Benjamin seems like sophisticated, intelligent, perhaps, and then Ben just sounds like some creature. Maybe I don't know.
Like, I don't know. Like I get what you're saying. Like how the long names are kind of like sophisticated, intelligent, and all that. If you ask me, it kind of sounds pretentious. If you
It does.
stick with the long name, it's pretentious. You're full of yourself, and you're just bad, and you should feel bad. Like, but they won't feel bad because they're too high and mighty, head in the clouds.
Yeah.
Hoity toity.
Hoity-toity yuppies.
Yuppie.
Yuppies. That'll be the next segment. Why is Nick pissed today? Freaking yuppies.
Freaking yuppie.
Yuppie.
That's all it's gonna be.
We could save that for a different time.
Oh, I'm not thinking about yuppies. Freaking pretentious. Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what chapped my ass today. I hope you folks enjoyed my ass chapping.
Mhm.
Metaphorical. I can talk about my physical ass chapping next time if you so choose.
That's it'll be covered next time if we need to.
Yes.
Solid.
Well, I'd like to take the time and thank both my co-hosts Nick and Ben.
It was a pleasure.
I think we had fun. We enjoyed a beer. Hope you enjoyed a beer with us, and we hope to catch you in our next episode. Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.